Amazing race, let's set the sails. To Africa we leave. As land and power will be earned, in gold and slaves received. Amazing race, the perils begin to sail across the sea. From Portugal to Luanda we go, with desires of wealth and greed. Amazing race, we control the lands Angola, India, and Brazil. We will fill our cargo full with slaves and crush their every will. Amazing race, our country has changed through power, wealth, and greed. As the sugar grows, filling our coffers full with gold, our country will succeed. Amazing grace, our plantations grow on the backs of those enslaved. But wealth and power are returned at the price of those depraved. Amazing race, our system has changed, new classes now entrenched. The mighty planter controls the land, while the slave working till death. Amazing race, how many will leave to live a life of pain? 150,000 entombed in ships to work for Portugal's gain. Amazing race, the violence abounds as Portugal takes its share. Greed and wealth will prevail and brutality not fail as we drag the king's head through the land. Amazing race, when we land ashore, the African merchants do come. Rum and guns are the price for human life as the blood trade is achieved with human strife.
Land ho!
Let's get off this ship.
Yep. I think I see the merchant, Captain.
Hello. Hello.
I am Vasco Magellan.
I am Fabio Evangelista. We need some slaves from you.
Slaves?
Yes.
How many would you like, sir?
We have 350 slaves?
No.
350?
500 slaves.
500.
500 slaves.
So I'll go send a word for 500.
Thank you.
But Captain, our ship can only hold 350.
But we must make maximum profit off this deal. 500 slaves.
Okay. Meanwhile...
He's alright, let him in. Fill that port. Oh, Fred. Sit down. Alright. Have something to drink. So, the white men have arrived at the ports.
Yes.
This slaving business is getting worse and worse. What do you think of this whole thing? See, our world is changing. It is taking a new shape, morphing. We come from a proud Bantu people, but us being blinded and blissful have missed what this is all about. For years, friend, we've had slaves, but for as long as our people have craved, it has never eaten us alive. It almost brings me to tears to think how many have died just for some rum and guns. We greatly appreciate the Portuguese, but no longer just heathens are being taken. Countrymen and adults, the children and women of our great tribe are disappearing before my eyes, and all I can do is sit back and watch. The rest of the people are debauched into stealing their own countrymen just for some rum and guns. It is almost as if Kodomo Domo or Kamapa has come back. Only this time, it's not trapped by the mountain pass, which was its great setback. It's taken a different form, so it's not easily slain. So I've written to the king asking him to abstain from this thing labeled the slave trade, just for some rum and guns. I've written him a letter to ask him as a fellow Christian to stop this horrible practice, to not promote the idea of extreme wealth and power at the expense of turning my country into a single cinder just for some rum and guns. New nations pop up overnight, but the old ones must take flight because salt and gold are no longer enough. Fighting is no longer an art. Those who used to outsmart are now dead from these guns we trade for even more lives. Just for some rum and guns. Alliances are being formed and broken, and everyone out there is unspoken, except through this small plea. Please ask the king for me to not turn my people into Masilio and Masilio Yane, just for some rum and guns. And I ask you, do you really think that this is fair? What do you think of this whole thing?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me? Well, I sell the blood of my brothers and live on the tears of my others, yet how do I feel, you ask? That's difficult. Well, how should I put it? Well, I guess in the end it's just not my job to worry about that bit. Because I'm just Diabo Joao de Rosa Cruz, the African slave merchant. Slaves in Africa have been sold forever. The trade of slaves is like a flow of a river, helpful, everlasting, and natural. A slave is one who was once an enemy. Slaves are our wealth, power. There are even 1 million of our souls. So when the white faces showed, more slaves to be towed. It's not unnatural, for doth the river not run out to sea? You wonder, this trade now, is it really still the same? At least the Muslim slaves the least humane. But the white people, for the white people, we have increased the beating and berating of our slaves. And after us, the white people treat them like utter knaves, like disgusting, inhuman beasts. But with the first selling of African slaves in Portugal, in Lagos, Portugal, waves of new white faces showed. And in 1482, Portugal built a new city, Luanda, built in 1576 by Portuguese explorer Paulo Dias de Novais. This city was built by slavery. And the guns, rums, and textiles we get for the slaves are dressed with liquor is what, and new technology and clothes obtained. And yet for all their wanton and demand, the curses of Africa the white man cannot stand. So we, the Africans, go in. We go, women and men, up to 1,000 miles inland, raid and take slaves back to the coastal sands in shackles and chains. They are miserable and their spirits are low, so we ask them to sing happy songs, for is it not better so? Songs of freedom. We sell more slaves and our pay has been raised. The whites give more than the Arabs ever paid. And for the sake of more sales, we even change our religion and names. So much we sell, we need much more raids. Slaves are now taken, captured, and made. More now than ever for the sake of the whites. And at the coast, the king gets the slaves. And till the whites come, he makes them behave, and God do they behave. He holds them till the whites arrive in the neighborhood, and then I go trade them for European goods and bring them to the whites who give more things. And even when the Dutch in Luanda took over, 1641 to 48, short as if in more, for me practically nothing has changed. Besides, even if I wanted to, I cannot get out. For if I do so, my life will go south. For the pay of this job is so much better than others. But in the end, it's not my job to care. I just do my bit and collect my share. For I'm just Diabo Joao de Rosa Cruz Mateo, the African slave merchant.
I see. How many slaves do the white men want?
They asked for 500, sir.
Captain, I see the merchant coming with our slaves.
Very well.
Here are the slaves you're asking for, sirs.
They look fine. We'll take the whole lot.
Not this one.
This one?
No.
No, sir, I assure you, he is very healthy.
No.
He marched 500 miles.
Does not look well. No. Looks like he has some disease or something.
Are you sure, sir?
Yes.
I assure you.
Captain.
Yes. No. No slave.
Very well.
You listen?
Traveled too far and did too much to get you not taken.
Captain, will you help me put these slaves on the ship?
No, you got it, my friend. Anyway, how much does it cost?
We would like